Hello, my name is Creed Carter, and for Banned Books Week, I'm going to read an excerpt of the classic novel Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. The reason this book is often banned and challenged is because in May 1996 it was first proposed that this book had racially offensive language. But the inherent irony is that this is one of the first books in American history to openly condemn racism, for which it was ridiculed when it first came out. So I'm going to read what SparkNotes.com calls the moral climax of the novel. That is where Huck Finn decides between what he thinks is going to make him go to hell and deciding to help his friend Jim. I felt good and all day washed clean of sin for the first time I had ever felt so in my life, and I know I could pray now. But I didn't do it straight off, but laid the paper down. This is the letter he wrote condemning where Jim is. And sat there thinking how good it was all this happened so, and how near I had come to being lost and going to hell. And went on thinking, and got to thinking over a trip down the river. And I see Jim before me all the time, in the day and in the night time, sometimes moonlight, sometimes storms, and we are floating along, talking and singing and laughing. But somehow I couldn't seem to strike no place to harden me against him, but only the other kind. I'd see him standing, my watch on top of his'n, instead of calling me, so I could go on sleeping, and see how glad he was when I came out of the fog. And when I come to him and in the swamp up there the feud was, and such like times, and would always call me honey, and pet me, and do everything he could to think of for me, and how good he always was. And at last I struck the time I saved by telling him the men we had smallpox aboard, and he was so grateful, and said I was the best friend old Jim ever had in the world, and the only one he's got now. And then I happened to look around and see the paper. It was a close place. I took it up. I held it in my hand. I was a-trembling because I got to decide forever betwixt two things, and I knowed it. I studied a minute, sort of holding my breath, and then says to myself, all right then, I'll go to hell, and tore it up. Thank you.